Hello, beautiful souls out there. I hope you're able to get out in nature like Starlight is. And in this area, I would have to say this is one of my favorite places out here. I was here not too long ago, and so I hope you're all getting out in nature like Starlight. What is your excuse? No, you might have a good one, like your legs, yeah, that would be hopefully your legs are good, so there's people out there and they do try to make trails good for people that have wheelchairs, accessible hiking trails. So I'm glad that they have things like that for some people, because some trails are really rough, to be able to do that. So anyway, I love you so much, and if you are new to my YouTube channel, welcome, and you can find me on YouTube, and that is at Starlight, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. So also, you could give this video a thumbs up, and you could subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't be afraid, don't be shy. Swing by and say hi, Starlight, by leaving Starlight a message down below. Beep, beep, beep. And you can also check out my playlist. Plus, you could find me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. I just want to say, as always, I want to thank you all for all of you that have been there, loving and supporting Starlight on this journey here as far as being a YouTube creator. Thank you for all of you that watch my videos, and those of you that give me a thumbs up, and you good, thank you. And those of you who subscribe to my YouTube channel, thank you. And those of you who leave Starlight a comment down below or even share my videos, thank you. So I got a lot to be grateful for, and you should too, is also, like I've been mentioning in my these videos lately, is if you have a picture of a pet that you want to share with Starlight, please, 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 you could do that. Send it. I will have it on here, is on my Instagram, which that's where you can find me, and that is where you can send any videos or any short little videos of your animals, your pets, not your kids. Your pets, not your husband or your wife, no, it's pets, animals, So if you have any little short videos or any pictures that you would like to share on my YouTube channel, I would love to meet your pets or your animals, not your kids, not your husband or wife. You could do that by either doing this on sending it on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. So today, this video is here about people who have an open heart. So here we go. So yeah, people who have an open heart. You might be one of those people that I'm talking to, and I'll tell you what, having an open heart, guess what happens? You're happier. People with an open heart, not open heart surgery, not that kind of open heart, but people who have an open heart, like this is my new shirt, is a love shirt, but people who have an open heart, is those people are happier than those that have a closed heart. It is so important, and I am grateful right now, and that's why I'm making this video, is if you've been on my YouTube channel, and a lot of you I met in person, and you know what, today this video here is about being grateful for the beautiful people out in the world. And there's a lot of beautiful people out in the world, and then I meet other people. They are beautiful on the outside, but what's going on in the inside is different, So there's people out in the world, and I've met tons of them. Millions of them, people that volunteer their times, their hours, and and they go to a food pantry, and they don't get paid, but they go there because they have an open heart and they want to help other people out. That is one way of having an open heart, is by, people that are willing to give of their time See, now I came through this trail the other day, and this tree wasn't here, so this just happened in the last day or so. So Starlight's going to have to do the limbo underneath this tree branch. So yeah, so people who have an open heart are happier. These are people that, you know, they forgive people. They forgive people. They because a closed heart. Hang on, Starlight's got a duck under here. I got my backpack on, so I really got a duck. So people who have a closed heart are people that are not so forgiving. They're holding, and I'll tell you what, a closed heart, it causes a lot of stress in their heart space and throughout their body. There's a lot of, you know, doctors know a lot of this stuff, you know, where people that have different problems with their bodies and stuff, a lot of things when it comes to the emotions and stuff relates to your heart space, because you got a heart chakra, and it's so good, you know, to even give yourself a hug. If you don't have, you know, love yourself, you know, let go of, you know, bitterness, you know, let go of jealousy, let go of, you know, not letting go of the past with people. You know, you got to let go of what somebody did to you 20 years ago or even yesterday, you know. And Starlight, I'll tell you what, Starlight is really good if, you know, the people that I have in my life, if I have some kind of problem, you know, where I think it's going to cause a problem down the road, I have to say, maybe I'm a little too quick, but it's not. It's really, actually, it's good to communicate with people, and it could be all kinds of different things. You know, it's good to keep your heart right with the ones that love you, you know, and the ones that you love. It's so important to keep our hearts right with our neighbors, to keep our hearts right with our parents. You know, not that we got to spend time with them. It's just, you know, like, don't make matters worse than what they really are, and, you know, keep the peace. That's what it's about, is keeping the peace with the people that we have in our life, and netterness to come in our heart space. You know, if there's people in your life, maybe your brother, sister, your mom or dad, or your kids, you know, that you don't see eye to eye with each other, you know what? The best thing you could do is forgive them and let it go. Don't hold that in your heart, because that's a closed heart. And, you know, that is going to cause problems and stress into your life that you might not even be aware of. So this video is really focused on people who have open hearts. You know, open-hearted people have better, healthier relationships with their family or their loved ones, because they're working on themselves. They get right about things. And like I was saying, it's so good to communicate with people in a good adult way. And when I say that, that means, like, talk to people, you know, open up and let people know, is, you know, if they offended you, if they said something off key. It is so important to find the time, make the time to talk with those people. And you'd be so, yeah, you'd be so surprised that a lot of times when we think that we got a problem with somebody else, there could be a misunderstanding, there could be a miscommunication, there could be things that your ego is telling you, and that, you know, you could be wrong at what you thought, you know. So it is so important to open up your heart and say, you know what, instead of me making a big problem out of this, I'm going to actually talk to the person. And because my imagination right now, there's a lot of times men and women, their imagination gets carried away, their ego gets in the way and creates things that is not true. And then we start believing those thoughts, which your thoughts are not your own. So it's so important, just because you get thoughts, how many times in your life that you were with somebody, maybe an ex, you know, maybe a family member, maybe your best friend that maybe you don't even have them anymore as a friend, you know, is how many times in your life can you count? Now, it might be so many you lost count like Starlight, where you thought somebody did something or said something or meant something a certain way, or it could be all kinds of stuff. You know, you might have thought somebody stole money from you or stole something from you. And what does that do with your heart space? Ooh, doesn't it? You know, you close your heart out to those people, you know, because you think that they did something wrong, but you can't prove it, you know. And I'm going to go down this little narrow way. Starlight will pick the narrow way, heck with the wide way. So the narrow way is the way to go. So there's many times, you know, in my past, I lost count. I definitely lost count where I thought something bad about somebody. I couldn't prove it. Now, aren't we all detectives? You know, aren't we all like private investigators, you know, like, hey, you know, I gotta put the pieces together and make sense out of this, so then, you know, I could say I'm right about something, and then, you know, and I'll tell you what, then it, you know, you can't prove it. There's not enough evidence, you know, and so there's times that we close our heart on that person. We won't take you know, the time to bring that topic up because of fear of what they're going to say and how they're going to react or respond. So we end up building up a wall around our heart, you know, because we think, and we always, you know, a lot of times we think we're right, you know, even when we're totally wrong, even if we can't even prove what we think. So it's very, you know, it's not a good thing to have a closed heart, because then you might close your heart to somebody that has a need, you know, because somebody else did you wrong, and you're like, that's the last time I'll ever help anybody else out. Well, guess what? That's a closed heart. You know, we've all, like, if you've been around long enough, you know, like, I have been there. I am guilty. I'm throwing myself right in here with you. Is like, in the past, I got thinking that all the men were the same. You know, I was gonna go on strike. Hey, I'm going on strike. But you know what? I thank God. I thank God that I didn't go on strike and say, forget guys, I'm gonna go with women. No, I was, you know, tested. You know, I told a man, and he was just a neighbor. He had a family, and I was so heartbroken. I was afraid to go out and have any kind of relationship with any man when I was like 19. That's young. 19 years old. I'm so heartbroken that I am tired, you know, of like a turtle, you know, putting your, you know, like a turtle has their shell, you know, and when they feel threatened, they just put their head back in underneath their shell, and they just wait until they think it's safe. Well, Starlight wasn't feeling very safe about, you know, going out and having any kind of relationship with anybody. And but a man told me, he goes, well, the reason why this is happening, Starlight, of course my name wasn't Starlight then, is because you were playing with boys. Those were not boys, you know. And say that I needed to hear that all men are not the same. You know, how many times did you want to give up on a female and thinking they all want money, that's all they ever want from a guy, you know. You know, that's the way the society is, you know. And then women, they have their own opinions about men, thinking, oh, they only want me for one thing, you know. So that doesn't really help us out, does it, to be able to get along with each other, is when we close that heart space. So but like I said, this video is really about people that have an open heart. I am so grateful for the beautiful people on this journey. I'll tell you what, I'm on this trail, but man, look at these berries all over on this trail. Starlight is going to come back here and pick them all up. So Yeah, so this video is really to focus on people that have an open heart. People that have an open heart when they see an animal that is in need of help, they actually, Starlight's one of those, is they will go out of their way to help that pet out. Or people, they see somebody struggling and they could be struggling too. But you know what? They actually sacrifice. God sees this stuff. It's not ignored. God sees the sacrifice that people put out there. You could be scraping, wondering where, how you're going to get your rent paid, how are you going to get this bill paid, how are you going to do this or that. And then you find out there's somebody that doesn't even have food, you know? So I am so grateful for the people that God is putting in my path right now that have opened up their hearts and helped Starlight on this journey here that I have with God, is to have a closer relationship with the universe and God. So I am so grateful. Think of all the people in your life. I am that chick. I will take my shirt off and give it to you. Do you need a shirt? I will take my shirt off and give it to you if you have a need. You know why? I have a lot of shirts in my car. So I have given one of my relatives, she didn't have a coat in the wintertime. I just bought that brand new white and black coat. I felt so great. It was like, yeah, I got a brand new white and black coat. And she was, I didn't really know my cousin very well. And, find out she came to my apartment to visit me. And my cousin, she's such a sweetheart, but she's had health problems, like mental health problems, and some kind of disability problem. She didn't understand how to protect herself out in the society, and people were just taking advantage of her all the time, everywhere she went. So she went through a lot of hell in that short period of time, was in the hospital a lot. And so I really didn't know her very well, but she came to my apartment and it was cold out. And I'm thinking, where's your coat? I don't have a coat. Well, here you go. Now you do. So that's having an open heart. Now, some of you, what a closed heart is that you got freaking 5 coats, but you can't give. So that's a closed heart, is when you see somebody that has a need and you close your heart out. You're like, other people used you, other people took advantage of you. So you know what you do? You close your heart out on another person that really has a need. So I am so grateful for all the people on my YouTube channel that was there to help me out in a time of need, because I'm out here doing what God wants me to do out here. I got to actually turn around because I think this is a dead end. Nobody comes out here on this trail. You know why? Because all the berries are still here. So yeah, it's a beautiful thing when you learn to love other people. If you see somebody that has a need and you close your heart out to that person because somebody did something to you, is it's not good for you to have a closed heart. When God sees that you opened up your heart and you helped out anyway, guess what? When you're struggling and when you're going through shit, God's going to remember what you did, and God is going to pour it on. You might not even notice it. You might not even see what God just got done doing. Something that could have happened that didn't happen, and God was there to help you out because you had an open heart. Having an open heart really helps out with your relationships with the people that you're with, by letting go of shit, not making like a little ant hill into a mountain. It's about communication. It's about being real. It's about keeping your heart right and not building a wall around your heart. When you build a wall around your heart, when you need help, nobody can come in because you closed up your heart. You're like, no, I don't need any help. You got to let go. It means that you need to get healed. It means means that you need love, you know? And when you put more love out in the world, guess what? What you put out comes back. So, and that is why Starlight has been blessed so much on this journey, is because I've given so much. This morning, the rest of the money that I had that God already gave me for helping me out with food and gas, what was in my pocketbook, there was a man on the street, you know, looking for food. You know what? I'm letting go. We're going to be challenged all the time. Are you going to help them out? Oh, he might put it on drugs. You don't know that, right? When you let go and God sees that you were able to let go and you didn't want to let go, but you did, God is going to bless you for that because you did it anyway. You didn't have all these excuses why you didn't do it. You did it because you have an open heart. And God loves to see that. So I am so grateful for people that have helped me out on this journey. You know, and most of the time I have to say, I ask them, what's your name? You know, and then I pray and ask God to bless those people. So really think of the people that you have in your life right now that have an open heart. And when you have a need, they're there for you, right? There's people that you have somewhere, you know, somebody opens up their heart, you might be without. It could be the people that you least expect that are going to be there to help you out. You know, when my brother was here, man, it was an every month helping him out, you know, up until a certain point, then I had to let go, you know, is that, you know, so it is wise to help people out. And there's a difference though when people, you know, out there in the world that are you're just being used, you know, that's a difference. But when somebody really has a need, you know, needs some food or clothing or something like that, and you close your heart, that's a wall around your heart space. And so when you need help, the wall around your heart space is closed off. And how are you going to receive love in your life when you closed your heart space out to the world? So you might be a person that's lonely, that spends a lot of time alone with themselves, you know, and don't feel loved. You got to put love out in order to receive it back, you know? Be kind out there and tell somebody something. You know, I tell people that I don't even know. I've said this to homeless people. I said, you know what? I don't even need to know your name, but I love you. Just like that, just like that. I don't need to know your name to say I love you. People need to hear that they are loved. That's an open heart. That's willing to put myself out there. Hey, they could have yelled at me. You know, what bad thing could have happened, you know, because I said I love you. I don't need to know your name. But you know what? This is a big huge problem in the world. Just because you got a certain color of skin, it doesn't mean that you don't need love like anybody else. So we need to be kind to other people and be grateful for the ones that are out there that are there when you need them, you know, when things get tight in the house, you know, when things don't go good at work, things, that's why shit happens in our reality, like COVID, you know, it works on people's hearts. Are you that person that you see somebody crying and suffering and they need help and you close your heart out to even help those? I hope not. Because we all need love. We all need help, you know, different ways. So I am grateful. Think the people out in your life, you know, that have an open heart. They're always out running around helping other people out. You know, they're helping the homeless people. They're helping this person out. They're helping you out. You know, let them know, hey, I appreciate you. Those people need to know it. You know, anytime I go to a food pantry, I let the workers know, you know what? I appreciate you. You didn't have to be here, but you were willing to volunteer your time, you know, to help other people with a smile and not even complaining. Now, can you do that? Can you volunteer your time, you know, like at a food bank Or like what I was doing on this whole journey, which I still do. I was helping homeless people the other couple nights with watermelon. You know, God blesses me and I bless others. So anyway, thank those people out there who have been there for you, not just about giving you things. How about their time? How about the kind word? How about the wisdom that they give you? You know, the ones that are always out there. Those are the ones that we need, but we need more people out there like that because the world needs love. If we just got along and really just let the pity crap away and stop having all these excuses why we can't, and we just start doing, we wouldn't have a war out there that we have. So think about that. You want to see a change in the world, but what are you doing to make a difference? By putting those walls down and putting your heart out again. Yes, again. In the Bible, it says with Jesus, somebody asked Jesus, how many times should I forgive my brother? 77 times. So don't take it, don't take things against one person because somebody 20 years ago did something wrong to you and now you closed your heart to everyone. You got to let that shit go and put love back out in the world because you know what? There's people out there that need it, just like you. So anyway, I love you so much. This is Starlight, and you can give me a thumbs up for this video. You could subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plus, you could share my videos you could share my videos with your family or friends. How about a homeless person? How about your relative? You know, they could possibly use this. Maybe they got a closed heart. Maybe you're like, yeah, they never help out. They always complain about somebody did something, when they were a kid or when they were growing up, and now they never want to help anybody again because of what somebody else did. It's just like relationships. You can't give up on love because you got hurt a few times by different people. So, you got to realize we're all different. We might be a family, but just because somebody hurt you, it doesn't mean the next person is. That means that you got to slow down and think before you jump. So I do love you. And also, you can leave me a message down below, beep, beep, beep. And you can check out my playlist. Plus, you can find me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight or on Facebook. And that is Kathy with a K, Dingman Starlight. I love you all. It's because I have an open heart. So thank you for all of those. And God rewards those people who have an open heart. I love you so much. This is Starlight. Namaste. This is Starlight. Love, light, and peace.